But the Lions are the alpha team in the NFC to me. I have them going 13-4. You got again, like, to me, they're a complete team.
Yeah.
And how they rebounded this offseason, they were like, hey, we took the L to the San Francisco 49ers in the offseason. We're going to come back and give you the 1-2 punch this season, and we're going to make history as the Detroit Lions potentially go to the Super Bowl.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Beard Zone Sports Talk. My name is David. Tonight, I got the whole gang with me. I got Carlos, I got Theo, and we are welcoming back Scooter from his little bit of a break. We are happy to have him back. But tonight, fellas, we are getting into the NFC North. Our way too early prediction series continues, and we are breaking down with, in my opinion, guys, looking at everyone's schedule and looking at all the teams here, this is one of the most competitive divisions in the league, if I have to say anything. All these teams have kind of silently built, a team that you could look at to say they could win some games here this year. So I'm excited to get into it. But we're going to kick things off with the Minnesota Vikings. The Minnesota Vikings, a lot of people are saying a rebuild this year. I'm not too sure why that's the case. Maybe it's because of the quarterback issue, but I'm very excited to hear what your guys' take are for the Minnesota Vikings this coming season.
Dude, and rebuild is what every other analyst is saying, and I'm trying to think a little different for them. But last year they were, at best. They were 2-4 in their division and 7-10 overall. You were 5th in passing, 24th in rushing. Maybe I'm wrong there. 29th in rushing, just above the Bucks. Defense total yardage was 16 or 16th best. Sacks was 24, and turnover differential was a measly 31st place. So they have a lot to answer on defense. They did pick up Dallas Turner and Kyrie Jackson. They have a potent offense with their wide receivers and Addison, and everyone knows, Justin Jefferson. I mean, who do you put at quarterback, Dalton or JJ McCarthy? I think you still have some talent there on offense because you also have Aaron Jones. So there's that.
Mm-hmm.
You also have defensive draft picks in Dallas Turner. Actually, I already said that. Sorry. Yeah,
Steal the first round.
Steal the draft for sure. You got Levi Drake Rodriguez off the edge, and I know he's like a D2 guy. I would love to see how he impacts with the loss of their DN over this offseason. Their O-line pickups, though, Walter Rouse and Michael Juergens, solid for what they need and what the Vikings bring on offense. You still got Hawkinson, too, as a tight end. So their run game will improve. I think it will. And ultimately, it's how well their defense can rebound this year. I don't think they are a winner in this division. I think at best, they're probably just going to maintain 7-10. Honestly, I would probably put them more at 6-11, given the whole quarterback and Kevin O'Connell. Kevin O'Connell's a beast in what he did with everything this past year, losing Kirk Cousins on top of that. And I'm going to go with 6-11 at the bottom of the division. I hate to say it, but it's just kind of everything's pointing that direction.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely feel like Vikings have kind of had a rough run of it, especially with last year, how everything played out. A mixture of, a crazy freak injury to Kirk Cousins, along with the QB carousel that they kind of had ended up running with afterwards, thinking that, that they had a savior in Joshua Dobbs after that insane game where he kind of led that comeback against the Falcons, and it just was like, oh, do we have something in Dobbs here? And all of a sudden, no, we realize why some people belong in space. Um, but it was rough. And I've always kind of felt like it's kind of rough to be a Vikings fan. There's so much tough goers. They get another team that just gets so close to the finish line. Seems like they come so close to being great and to making deep runs in the playoffs, and then for whatever reason things happen. Once again this year, I don't know, man. It's gonna be the way I'm seeing it. I think it's gonna be rough. I think it is a little bit of a rebuild. And I don't think there's nothing wrong with that. Like I'm not like I think we as fans need to be a little bit more open to like understanding where our teams are too, and like being like, okay, maybe this isn't the year, but we did some good things, and we'll figure out a lot of things this year. This year we're gonna figure out if JJ McCarthy is their guy. We're gonna figure out if Justin Jefferson is still the best wide receiver in football with no matter who plays. We're gonna figure out a lot of things on that defense. We're gonna figure out like if the moves that they did make were enough to kind of get them over that hump and at least make them competitive and stay in games. I don't think anyone's expecting the Vikings to make a Super Bowl run this year, but I think a respectable 8 and 9. I think these guys. I think they're coached well. When you have a guy like Justin Jefferson, like guys like T.J. Hawkinson, Aaron Jones, like you got vets in the back in there in on the offense, and you got a growing defense. I think this team should lean into the growth that needs to happen this year, and yeah, I think they're gonna do what they need to do. Right now, I have them at they're third in the division, 8 and 9.
Whoa. I got to know who's at the bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
I'm kind of, yeah, this is a tough division, but the Vikings, they got a good head coach. They have Brian Flores as the DC. He's good. And he's had a lot of improvements for that defense last year. They improved quite a bit. So, they go from ranked 28th to 13th, lead league in cause fumbles. So I think another year, and he gets Dallas Turner. It's still mind-boggling how Dallas Turner gets to them on there. I feel like in defense, they just traded some pieces. Like they lose Hunter, but then they get Jonathan Greenland from the Texans. So they get younger in that aspect from them. So, yeah, it's kind of weird. And then they get Blake Cashman from the Texans as well to play, back in the backfield or the back into that defense. And he's a tackling machine. So he I think he was leading the Texans last year with 106 tackles. But the one person I'm excited for that they signed on defense, who Brian Forrest is going to love because he's played for him too, is Andrew Van Ginkel, which I hated that the Dolphins lost. This guy he did hit a foot injury against the Chiefs the last game. So as long as he heals up, this could be a breakout star we're seeing on defense. This guy gets after it, and he's going to be quick. But I do like their offense. It depends. I mean, JJ, it's hard to argue if he's not the best in the NFL, and they have Addison. My only worry is, like, when does Hawkinson come back? He tore the ACL and MCL at the end of the year on that borderline dirty hit. So he's not going to be back right away. Just try to see. But like every team, man, we've said it before, it revolves around the quarterback. And like O'Donnell, JJ was his guy. It's who he said he wanted from the beginning. So we're going to see. But the thing is are those two, Darnold or JJ, are they better than Dobbs and Mullins? They're not better right now, Kirk Cousins.
I actually meant to make I think Sam Darnold is going to do better than a lot of people are giving him, by the way. I kind of think that there's a chance he starts the whole year. He was better on the 49ers than we had ever seen him on the Jets. Sometimes when these quarterbacks have a chance to flit around the NFL a little bit, like maybe he'll stop seeing ghosts. But
yeah, I think you're right. I mean, he gets a year to sit, learn, grow a little bit with that, San Francisco offense, even just sitting and holding a clipboard. I mean, look what it did for Jordan Love, which we'll get to later.
Just want to point out,
I think you're right.
Quick. Just want to point out that Darnold was also projected to be one of the best ball spinners in the NFL from USC. And there's another guy in this division getting the same type of hype.
They're not the same quarterback
No,
for sure.
not at
But
all.
I got them going. I believe they were 7-10
Just
last
saying.
year. I got them going 7-10 again. I don't think they got worse. I do think they got better, but the division got better with them. So I don't see much more out of them. They'll be competitive, but I see them 7-10. I've got them finishing at the bottom.
Yeah, I think we're all on the same page here. I like the moves that they made in the offseason. I think Aaron Jones in that backfield is going to be awesome. I think that that's going to be a huge help. And if JJ does end up starting right at quarterback, I mean, dude, he has weapons around him. And when you have Aaron Jones who can run the ball and he can get into the passing game, I mean, you're setting your rookie quarterback up for success, right? TJ Hawkinson, I mean, he did have that injury. The positive side of that is that was his first major injury, right? So he's not been riddled with injuries over the year. It was just a big blow, unfortunately for him. Last year. So I think that he could become a safety blanket for either Darnold or McCarthy. Whoever is at the helm. But I mean, man, I think that each quarterback in the Kevin O'Connell system, though, is going to thrive. I think that we're going to see a better Sam Darnold if he decides to start. I think that we're going to see a pretty decent, JJ if he ends up getting the starts at some point during the year, because Kevin O'Connell's system is really structured, and that's exactly what a rookie quarterback needs. And a quarterback like Sam Darnold needs, especially coming from the offense with Kyle Shanahan, being able to sit over there and kind of learn and, just kind of absorb everything that he can when he was in San Francisco. I love the additions. I mean, Carlos, you added it. I love the additions of Jonathan Bullard and Jerry Tillery. I think that's how you pronounce his last name. But they were good last year, and they brought him over. They lost Hunter, but you know what? You kind of let him go, so then that way you can make room to pay the wide receiver that you needed to pay, and that was Justin Jefferson, who is the best wide receiver in the league. I think he'll continue to be the best wide receiver in the league. But yeah, man, this division is just competitive.
Yeah.
And it doesn't help that they have the 5th hardest schedule this year, so it's just an uphill climb for the Minnesota Vikings. And I just don't think that they're there yet, So I do have them going about 7-10, 8-9, but I have them at the bottom of this division. I don't know if the other teams in this division are going to see a record like that. I think that honestly we might see above 500 for the other 3 teams in this division.
Ooh.
So, but
speaking of
let's move on, fellas, to the next team, and that is the Green Bay Packers. This team was exciting to watch. If you are an NFL fan, that last stretch there at the end of this year, I mean, Jordan Love legitimately looked like one of the best quarterbacks in the league there, over the span of 6 weeks.
Yeah.
I mean, he was killing.
Mm-hmm.
And then they go and they go into Dallas. They have that huge win over Dallas. I mean, just completely embarrassed the Dallas Cowboys. And then let's think about it. They were beating the San Francisco 49ers at one point in that divisional game, and there was a moment where I'm like, holy crap, man. How do the Packers just get so lucky with being blessed with a quarter? It's like franchise quarterback to franchise quarterback to now it seems like another franchise quarterback in Jordan Love. And I mean, what I love seeing last year with Jordan Love is that team bought around him.
Yes.
Everyone surrounded
Absolutely.
him, supported him. They bought into him. They saw him as the leader, and they just ran with him. And man, I mean, there was some moments last year where we were like, uh-oh, might not be too good. But then they really put it together. They really put it together. And the thing about this is that I think that they're the youngest team in the NFL. Based on the average age, they're the youngest team. So their future
on offense for sure.
Yeah, their offense is definitely
offense.
the youngest. Yeah, their defense is probably a little bit older, but I mean, I like their secondary and their defense. I like, Jair Alexander. I think he's one of the better corners in the league. My big question, though, I don't have a question about this offense. I think the offense is going to run good. I like their wide receiver core. I like the addition of Josh Jacobs in the backfield. I know that they lost Aaron Jones, but getting Josh Jacob, having AJ Dillon still, I like that. I like that just kind of bruising kind of back, running back room. But my big question is if Jeff Halfley, the new defensive coordinator for the Green Bay Packers, he's going to be the guy who I'm watching, and what this defense is able to do,
Well,
because I think it's gonna be that defense. I think that defense they're gonna be the make it or break it. They're gonna be the thing that gets this team over 500. Because I don't have any worries about their offense. I really don't. I love Jordan Love. I believe in him on what he put on paper last year. I think that sitting behind Aaron Rodgers, we see it so many times now. I mean, now granted, you have CJ Stroud, like last year, he came out and just had a phenomenal rookie year. You have other quarterbacks who have good rookie years, but I just like when a quarterback can come in, sit behind a veteran, learn, get into the system, understand how a quarterback is supposed to lead the team, understand how a quarterback is supposed to operate. The pace of the game slows down for them. So I really like Jordan Love. I think he's going to be a really good quarterback for them moving forward. It's
I
just his
think
defense.
I think Halfley is a good addition. I mean, he's coming from Boston College, and that defense was ranked very high nationally in a
Yeah.
lot of categories in the top 5, and then he's an Ohio State guy too before that. So I think they'll be fine. I don't think he'll be the issue. My issue is going to be with their defenses. Some of their superstars are getting old with on there. So it's Kenny Clark's getting a little bit older, and he plays that position where they get banged up quickly when he's down in that middle on there. But I think, man, this is another tough team. My questions are for the offense. They do gel, but that whole saying "young and dumb." Like maybe they were just too young not to. It didn't register. When you're young, sometimes you don't think about it. You don't think about like your quarterback. They. It's not like all their players came from these big schools that were winning national titles. They were kind of used to that up and down and where they came from. So it's not that they're dumb players. It's just maybe naive is the word I'm looking for, and they just keep playing and they're just young. They got that eye of the tiger still. So my thing with Jordan Love is there were a lot of naysayers, and I'm pretty sure I'm gonna look around here. I was one of them, but that guy throws for over 4,100 yards last year and 32 touchdowns with that receiving core. My only thing is, does he get the sophomore slump? Now that everybody knows Jordan Love, he can't hide anymore. Those receivers can't sneak up on anybody anymore. The division gets better, so we're going to see what happens with that team coming back for a second year on offense. But I do like their big addition, I think, on defense was Xavier McKinney coming from the Giants. That guy is a beast on the back end, and they had no choice but to sign that guy because they lose their other 3 safeties. So Savage goes to Jacksonville. The other 2 guys jump ship. But, man, that guy is a beast. He 116 tackles last year. He was the lowest rated percentage safety when it comes to missing tackles. This guy only missed 7 tackles all last year out of that spot. And that's not easy to do because you're getting somebody coming out of the backfield or coming across that's full speed and you're kind of, backpedal a little bit. But this guy is a beast. I do like that. To me, Josh Jacobs, Aaron Jones, are they interchangeable? I still like Aaron Jones a little bit better on there, but I'm really excited about the team. See where they're going to go. They're going to have a good defense. They're going to have a good offense, and they got Matt LaFleur, their head coach. So I got them being one game better though than they were last year. They were 9-8 last year. I got them going 10-7 this year. I just think with the Bears getting better, the Lions getting better, I still have a few questions for them, like the whole. Like, is Jordan Love going to be able to repeat what he's done, what he did last year?
Yeah, I definitely get where you're coming from, and I have the same concerns. for Jordan Love. As much as I do agree that, I mean, he killed it last year. I mean, so much more than we could ever expect from someone like him. Like, because if we remember correctly, let's remember the drama with which he came to the league. Like he's the heir apparent to Aaron Rodgers, the early heir apparent, and a questionable pick at the time when it was made. Like, we were all up in arms because everyone was so sure that they were gonna finally get Aaron Rodgers a weapon, and they pick his replacement instead. But I do like.
Remember how they were hating on him, like during the OTAs? Like this guy couldn't throw a pass. Like there was
Couldn't even hit the net.
He couldn't hit anything. I'm pretty sure we're all haters of this guy at some point.
100%.
Damn it, did he shut us up.
I was definitely on that wagon too, and it was just like it was great to see him over the course of last season just kind of take it in stride and grow and just get better and better. I mean, this guy started off the season in a scary fashion. Like the first 5 games were not pretty. We're talking 9 interceptions over that time. It was a lot. There was a lot going on with him, his gameplay, and what he was bringing to the table. But after that, he really turned it around, and the team just started being more cohesive. That wide receiver room has to be the most interesting wide receiver room to me in the league. Like with guys that I just feel like you just don't necessarily know. You have a different guy for every situation in that wide receiver room right now, and it's super interesting. I mean, with Christian. Oh, sorry, did I lose you guys? Thank you.
Watson.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dobbs, Watson, and Jalen Reed.
Reed.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot. There's a lot to be excited for this team. I feel like
they got 4.
I agree with you guys that the
good young
defense is kind
receivers
of going to be the big question mark here. Like, are they going to be able to keep up with the success? I mean, and it's a mixture of the defense and whether or not. I still want to give. I want to see Love do it again. As much as he did, I agree that he did great last season. I want to see him continue his growth pattern. Continue doing what he's doing, get better, and use the weapons that he has to his ability. I still have big question marks. I think Josh Jacobs is kind of on the other side of his career, if I'm being honest. I'm a little bit more excited for Marshawn Lynch. The rookie running back that not Marshawn Lynch, Marshawn Lloyd. Yeah, listen, Marshawn, he's a running back, Marshawn Lloyd, not Lynch. And it's even an L.
Marshawn
It's even
Lloyd.
an L last name.
Lloyd.
Come on.
It's a habit.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that a lot, so just be prepared. But Marshawn
Dude, I got
Lloyd,
excited for a minute. I was like,
definitely someone that I think
Skittles
is
is
worth
back.
watching. Could be a guy that takes over that running back field by the end of the
It's
season. But
Lloyd.
I like the Packers 11-6 this. I think I really feel strongly that this is a team that's gonna get it together. I love the coach. I love the offense, and I think the defense is scrappy enough to keep them in games. I think they're gonna make a real push this year.
They got a good O line too. That was
do.
one thing I forgot about. They got it's a top 10 O line. I mean, they're probably at the bottom
Are they?
of that 10.
Are they top 10? I'm just gonna ask.
I think they're about 10th. Like it's
sure?
a good O line.
You sure?
Yeah, I think
Okay.
they're
So in pass offense. So I'm just gonna keep this in mind. Jordan Love did a very good job in showing maturity, much like C.J. Stroud. Jordan Love started off really rough, as we know, but he matured incredibly well, and that's typically the Packers' way. You start off a little rocky, but you mature really quickly, and that's just the generational quarterbacks that they've had, and as an organization, that's how they run it. As a passing offense, they were 12th last year. As a rushing offense, they were 15th, so middle ground for offense. In total defense, they were middle ground as well, at 17th in total yardage, and turnover differential at 17th. Again, but their front four and their linebacking core was great in being a top 10 in sacks at 9th in the league. They also picked up Edrin Cooper for a linebacker and Tyron Hopper. So they're trying to stop some of the bleeding on defense. They still need some maturity. I think they're still an incredibly young team overall, not just on offense. But I think they covered their gaps very well this offseason. And what you're going to see and what I had a question mark on was, what's the depth at quarterback look like for the Packers, just in case. It was just in case. And they picked up Michael Pratt from Tulane. I thought that was a very interesting pick. It was like 7th round, I think. But you guys kept talking about their wide receiver core and being so good. And I just took a look at my notes, and
It's the
not
Chiefs
one of
game.
them had
It's
1,000
like
yards.
I tell you, it's what everyone's trying to do now. Like,
But
get a
they
bunch
had
of
a
guys
massive
that,
impact on Jordan Love, still
Mhm.
getting 4,100 yards and 30-something touchdowns, right? The Packers, yeah.
Yeah.
You have multiple running backs, you have very complimentary receiver core, and you have a defense that can at least keep you in the game. That's all they needed to be 9-8 and 4-2 in their division, right? I think they go 10-7. And it's only because, and they're going to stay second in their division like they did last year. I don't know what they're going to do in the divisional and breakdown, but I got them at 10-7. And it's only because they were very middle ground team as a bunch of rookies, essentially. And they lost some players. There are going to be some growing pains. But the Packers organization has always found a way to win and win with like the craziest weird scenarios. And that's just how I broke it down. I think Jordan Love is potentially the next Rodgers for the Packers. I'm not saying he is, but I'm saying there's a potential because of how he matured throughout the season. You watch his maturity, much like CJ Stroud. They carried themselves differently. They delivered the ball differently. And you watch the delivery and the throwing motion of Jordan Love, and you cannot tell me it's slightly different or any different than Aaron Rodgers. It's a flick of the wrist.
We saw the
different
side-by-side comparisons during the games that they were doing. They were like, let's show you a highlight of Aaron Rodgers. And then they showed you a highlight of Jordan Love. And it was literally, it's like the Kobe and the MJ.
The Michael,
like, It was like the same thing. Yeah. So, I mean, you could be right,
and
man.
you got Matt LaFleur who's going to make him flourish. He's going to flourish in Green Bay. And they're going to end up paying him when his rookie contract comes up, guaranteed. And I think they have the consistency, especially making their old COO, their president, what's his name, Mr. Policy, Edward Policy. He's going to be that continuity from the front end offense and the managerial side. And you got LaFleur, who's been there for a full set of years, right?
I just want to take the moment to give
it's going to be a little bit of growing pains. Still 10-7.
This is a testament to our quarterbacks. It's almost like playing quarterback is the hardest position in sports, and like we should either understand that it's good for a lot of quarterbacks to sit a year or two, and understand that when quarterbacks are forced to start, we shouldn't call for them to be fired after a bad year. It's almost like we should, allow that time for these quarterbacks to grow. Just saying.
Yep, take a listen to Kurt Warner. He said that there's no time for maturity anymore.
Think about if the Bills gave up on Josh Allen after those 2 seasons.
The first 2 seasons?
Yeah. Think about it.
Yeah.
They were wanting, I mean, there was rumors that they were like, is he going to be this guy? Is he?
But he matured and changed his throwing motion.
Exactly.
Same
So, and now
they
have their guy. Now they have their guy. So I think that's what the Packers have. They have their guy with Jordan Love, with the young offense that is around him, that receiving core. If Christian Watson can stay healthy, his hamstring has been, the death to him so far. But when he is out there, he's such a good receiver.
Done some special.
Really like him. He's just.
I was just going to say they've done some special he has everything that makes work with him this offseason. Try and work on those hamstrings.
So I really want him to stay this year, but I do see him. What's that?
Ayahuasca. Is that what you said?
Yeah, I think him and Rodgers linked up. Maybe I'm just kidding. Yeah, a little
bit of retreat.
Yeah,
it's
Egypt.
Unfair.
I don't know.
It's unfair.
Okay. Well, hey, Packers fans, you should be very, very happy. You guys continue to get quarterbacks. I just don't know how it is. It's crazy.
But they do it right. They sit them. They're okay sitting a quarterback for 4 years, 4 years.
Of an organization goes a long way.
But they've had that guy they had Favre before, then Rodgers, so they could afford to sit that guy. What happens is these, like Caleb, they don't have a choice. They got to throw this guy in. But the Packers have done it right for many years, and that's why they're able to, let these seeds grow.
They also had Kurt Warner sitting the bench back behind Brett Favre as well. Just throwing that out there.
Brett Favre started it all.
Yep.
As long as they don't follow his financial lessons,
yeah,
they should be okay. So, let's go ahead and jump into the Detroit Lions. The Detroit Lions, the Cinderella team of last year.
Yeah.
They were 30 minutes away from giving us the Taylor Swift versus Eminem Super Bowl, and they crumbled. That's all I can say. I have a question for you guys, really quick. This might ruffle some feathers, and I don't mean it in any disrespect. But Jared Goff, good quarterback, right? Good quarterback, has pretty good statistics. We've seen bad Jared Goff, right? But we've also seen really good Jared Goff. Jared Goff just got paid. Someone else just got paid this offseason, and then his name was Kirk Cousins. I feel like Jared Goff is the Kirk Cousins that wins playoff games because they're similar in their play. They're similar in the style that they're similar in, just their stats and everything. So, but Jared Goff, man, I mean, he's been to the Super Bowl once. He was almost there last year, leading the Detroit Lions to their Super Bowl. And Dan Campbell is leading the charge, and I love this team. I love everything about this team. If you look at their team, their offensive line, it's got to be one of the best in the league if you look at it. Honestly, it really is.
Dude, that's the best.
Pretty sure it's the best. That's second passing last year.
Go for it. Yeah, I'm okay. I'm okay with saying that. I was thinking Philly. That was ultimately in my head. I was thinking the Philadelphia Eagles. But with Jason Kelce now gone, I'm good with doing the Detroit Lions. The tip of the hat to them. But that offensive line is insane. They got a backfield. Jahmyr Gibbs was the flashy guy, but then David Montgomery came in and did his thing also, right? I mean, if you're a fantasy owner, David Montgomery had some pretty good games, right? So they got Jared Goff. They paid Jared Goff. They got Amon-Ra St. Brown, right, who is a top-tier wide receiver. We've seen Williams, too. I know that he's been hit with some injuries, and, he had that whole gambling thing that happened. But when he's out there, he's shown flashes, man. He's shown some really good flashes to be a really good wide receiver. So, man, I love everything about it. And then you look at that defense, and that defense embodies what Dan Campbell is as a human being. They're just tough-nosed, hard. They get after the quarterback. They're going to hit you hard, and they're going to force you to cause turnovers. And that's exactly what we saw last year. And if you look at this team this year, coming into this year, not a whole lot has changed. Really, not a whole lot. We thought, which I was almost certain that they were going to lose their offensive coordinator. I really was. I thought for sure that we were going to see him go. But
yeah, he's gone next year.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, for sure, dude. Ben Johnson definitely not going to be. He should at least get a head coaching gig for sure. But he stuck around for another year because I know, just like a lot of those guys in that front office, they see what they have, and why not go and make history this year, man? I think that the Detroit Lions can be legitimately Super Bowl contenders again this year, as they were last year. It must be so nice
to be a Lions fan now. Like I'm so happy for the Lions fans,
and
man.
I see them sitting on top of this
years and years of suffering, finally culminating in what they are right now, man. It's kind of the essence of football, and I love it. I love that they got there finally, and I love that it's with this head coach. And how the trade, how the also story of Jared Goff too, coming from the Rams. What he was on the Rams, what he is to the Lions now, and I love everything about this team. I completely agree with you. I just feel like these guys are poised to make another strong play. Like they're just in the position that you want to be in as a football team, having garnered kind of all the pieces that they have on defense and offense. This is a scary team, y'all, and it's a very, in my opinion, a very winnable schedule that they have going on here. This not like I feel like they could win. They can beat anyone. Like we already know they can beat anyone in the league, but with the schedule that they have, it feels like they are also already sitting at the top of their division. You know, games against the Packers are going to be tough, but you know the Lions definitely have, you know, they got a chip on their shoulder that they got to get off after kind of losses to the Packers at different times last season. Yeah, I mean, I really I don't feel like there's much talking that needs to be said for this team, just because we already know what they did last year. They pulled off kind of stepping into the upper echelon, and nothing has changed for the team. They've been able to retain so much, and like keeping Ben Johnson, I think, was definitely like a big key towards them being able to come back and do it again. And I'm not sure, y'all, like the way Ben Johnson was talking, he seemed like he wanted to be a Lion for a while, but I mean, you know, money talks. So most likely this is his last time with them. But you know, Amon Ra, I think Jameson Williams has a chance he steps up even more this season with guys. You know, they lost one of their wide receivers that they had on the outside last year. In sorry, I lost his name here. He went to the Broncos. Just lost his name. Josh Reynolds, thank you. Josh Reynolds, he was a big part of their kind of the play that they made last year. So I think this leaves the opening for Jameson Williams to finally be the guy that they expected him to be when they drafted him 2 years ago in the first round. Yeah, I think I really like this team. I think they're. Go ahead.
Yeah, and I
Sam
forgot.
Laporta. Yeah, I mean.
Oh no, I just forgot, and I should have done this because he was a breakout guy, and everyone was wanting him in fantasy. And
they
that
made
was
pickups.
Sam Laporta.
They did what they needed to do. Like they have depth as well.
Monster.
Yeah, at like 13 and 4, I don't see how they're they're not at least 13 and 4 this season.
Man.
Maybe 12 and 5, 13 and 4. But this is a team that anyone should be scared to go up against. You know, if you see them coming up.
Yep,
man. So I wore this Tampa Bay shirt for the Detroit Lions specifically, out of respect and a little bit of bitterness. Okay, you stole Carlton Davis after you beat us. I'll take that. No, but it's mad respect.
Gosh, man, I forgot about that move.
Yeah. So.
Oh, dang it!
They were 12-5 last year and 4-2, and split that loss with the Packers, right? And they won their division. The Lions were second in passing in the league. They were fifth in rushing. Absolute stellar offense. We can never deny that. And I honestly think they'll be the best this coming season for 2024. Total defense, they were 19th. Turnover differential was 16th. And, you know, we thought they had a pretty good rushing attack or pass. Or, on the defensive side, a real good, pass rush. It was 27th. However, that was because they had a little bit of holes and they were a little bit more lopsided on offense. No one can deny that they have a spectacular offense with Goff and everything else they got. On defense, they did pick up Terrion Arnold. If anyone remembers, from Alabama, he's very rough off the edge, and he's going to jack some people up at wide receiver. You also got Rakestraw, also a cornerback. You got Vaki at safety from Utah. Dude is good. He's good at coverage, and he's going to manhandle the NFC North. And then you also got Wing for your defensive tackle. So you're going to help out Hutchinson off the edge and hopefully balance out the team as a whole. Can they repeat the playoff run? I think they're a Super Bowl contender, Dave. I'm with you on that. I think Dan Campbell, and what he's got in the Detroit Lions organization, one word describes them, is passion.
There's another word.
Regardless if they're losing 0-16 or they're going 17-0, it's straight up passion in that organization and in that city. You got Goff, you got Gibbs, you got Montgomery. What? Grit? No, I'm just going to say passion. It's just straight passion because it's either that or attitude. Because when they hit the field, they're going to score 30 points. Look, you got Goff, you got Gibbs, you got Montgomery, you got St. Brown, you got Williams, you got Laporta. Everyone has already stated, man, their offense is killer. Like, I don't see them not losing the NFC outside of potentially the 49ers, depending on how that shapes out. But the Lions are the alpha team in the NFC to me. I have them going 13-4. you got again, like, to me, they're a complete team.
Yeah.
And how they rebounded this offseason, they were like, hey, we took the L to the San Francisco 49ers in the offseason. We're going to come back and give you the 1-2 punch this season, and we're going to make history as the Detroit Lions potentially go to the Super Bowl. I don't want to say they're going to go to the Super Bowl because someone in our comment section is like, this guy's an idiot. However, look at what they got. Look at the tape. Look at the stats. Look at everything else. They have the best potential to go that far.
Yeah.
If you look at the season itself, the schedule, the players, who they picked up, 13-4, Lions top of the NFC North.
Love it.
Yeah, I their offense. The only thing I think that slows that offense down is the injury bug. But they were able to ward that off last year. They are good. Williams is gonna. Jameson's. He's gonna have to.
Yeah,
he's got some pressure, I think, on him because Reynolds was. He was with. God, why am I blanking on the quarterback's name? Right, Goff, with the Rams too. So he's kind of been like that little safety blanket when they needed that third down, that 3rd and 10. You always see Reynolds making that catch. But their offense it's legit, man. You're right. You guys, Laporta. There's not much we can say more about that offense. My only concern with them is the defense a little bit. They picked up some corners because they needed it with Arnold, the Rakestraw from Mizzou, and then they go out and get Robertson from the Raiders too, so to kind of shore up that back end a little bit. My only worry is still going to be their pass rush. I mean, I do like the pickup of J.D. Reader from Cincy. I think it kind of stuffs that middle up a little more. Who I do like, and I think we have to keep an eye on, or Lions fans probably know this already, is Wingo from LSU that they drafted in the 6th round. He was good at LSU, and I was surprised he went in the 6th round. But he's small for an edge guy. I think he moves to the middle on passing downs, and I think he's going to help them out there with that pass rush a little bit.
He's got good handwork. You got to watch that tape. That dude's solid on just.
He's strong. Like he's got a quick first step, and being on. He was a good pickup for them. He's an LSU captain. Like in SEC, he's got the experience going against some top end linemen. My only worry is and they get Marcus Davenport too. We probably all know him from the Saints. David, you both mentioned it. But he was actually with the Vikings last year, and he was hurt. So they get him. They get DJ Reader from Cincy. Sorry, guys, I had a little hiccup there. And I think those are good pickups for them. They have to stay healthy and on the field to help out Hutchinson there. That's my only thing. And then they lose Gardner back. I think he goes back to the Eagles, but so that means Brian Branch is going to go back to safety, and all those corners they picked up are going to have to fill in there because Branch was that little Swiss Army knife. I love him back there, man. That guy.
Dude, Branch is beast.
Yeah, put him in the slot, safety. That guy was everywhere. So that's my only little hiccup is that defense going to be deep playoff ready. They're going to be able to make the stop when they need to, and they're going to. I think that only happens if they stay healthy. If Reader can stay healthy, Davenport can be there. Hutchinson's going to be there. That guy's a beast. But I like their linebackers, man. They've got some. Jack Campbell they drafted too. That guy from Iowa's a beast. Yeah, man. And Alizone, the other linebacker, he's good. I think the only thing that really stops them, man, I think it's going to be them. Dan Campbell drinking his 40, 50 ounces of coffee every morning. He's ready to go. But we'll see, man. It's different when you get into that NFC Championship game. It's different, and they experienced it last year. So we'll see, man. But I got them going 12-5. They do have a tough schedule this year, but they're definitely. I got them winning the North and going deep in the playoffs. Yeah. I low-key rooting for them. I mean, there's a city that could use a football championship. It is Detroit, man. They could use one. Yeah.
Passion, like I said, it's
they need one.
You say passion, Scooter. I say kneecaps. Because I just love Dan Campbell. So, but let's move on to the team of the hour because of the quarterback that they decided to draft. in the first round. First overall pick, Mr. Caleb Williams, and that is the Chicago Bears. The Chicago Bears got themselves into position to where they were able to get Caleb Williams, make him the quarterback, and then they built everyone like they built a team around this guy during the offseason. They already had DJ Moore. They got that from the Carolina trade. Then they go out and get Keenan Allen, who is a solid target for him. And then they go ahead and draft, in my opinion, one of the, if not, he's arguably, he's
arguably third best receiver. Yeah,
yeah, third best receiver coming into this year's draft, and that's Rome Odunze. I mean, Caleb Williams has no excuse to not be good. Then they bring in Shane Waldron from Seattle as their offensive coordinator. We saw what Shane Waldron was able to do with Geno Smith, over the last 3 seasons with Seattle. Now, granted, I will say this, Dave Canales was also there when Geno Smith had that comeback player of the year. And then he comes to Tampa, and Baker has the year that he had last year, and now he's the head coach for the Carolina Panthers. So how much of that was on Shane? I don't want to take anything away from him, but that's going to be, I think, the key for this, man. I think Caleb Williams, we've said it in previous episodes. These rookie quarterbacks have to be married to the right coach, man. Like, just they got to go into a system that is going to work for them. Like Patrick Mahomes landed with Andy Reid. No one could have asked for a better head coach than that right there. Now Patrick Mahomes is still a great quarterback, but I mean, just the system that he's in, it makes him that much better. So Caleb Williams is really he has no excuse. There's no excuse. Everyone has extremely high expectations for this guy. I'm just saying.
It's the Bears, bro. It's the Bears.
Everyone is saying that he's going to be the guy who breaks the curse of the Bears quarterback and be the first quarterback to throw for over 4,000 yards. We've said that plenty of times before, though. And the other thing about it is that he used a lot of his athletic ability in college to be successful as he was.
You first.
That's not necessarily going to translate to the NFL. These guys are a lot faster.
After Dave.
So you can't. You can't rely so much on the athletic ability.
Theo, I'm locked and loaded, Theo. I'm ready to go. I
let Dave finish. Just let him finish.
Come on, wrap it up, big guy.
Listen, man. I'm not saying that he's not going to be a good quarterback, because I think at the end of the day, he doesn't have any excuse to not be a good quarterback. But I just don't like Caleb Williams. I'm okay with saying that. I didn't like him at USC. As a guy who just came into the college world, and as a guy who is a Tampa fan, that everyone was saying that we were going to get Caleb Williams, we were going to be in position to get Caleb Williams. I watched him last year, and I didn't like what I saw. So I'm just going to put it as that. I think that he might be a little bit overhyped. I think that the Caleb Williams hype is a little bit up there. Will he be a good quarterback? He doesn't have any excuse not to be a good quarterback. So he better put out the results, because the Chicago Bears fans are obviously expecting that.
They shouldn't have any high expectations. I mean, they get Fields, trash. Trubisky, trash. They went to the wrong type of quarterback. Theo, if you got a pin there, if you'll write down the 48th minute and the 50th second and just put that a note when he said he did not want Caleb Williams to be a Tampa Bay Buccaneer, so we can go back to that time. I think this guy, man, something tells me in my gut he is going to be a superstar. He was on a USC team that was terrible. He played for terrible teams, terrible offensive lines, a bunch of 4 and 5 stars that didn't
Lincoln
pan
Riley.
out. And he paid for Lincoln Riley. I mean, I think this guy's got the stuff. And yes, he doesn't. He really doesn't have too much of an excuse. The O-line, it could be better. They're going to be like a middle of the pack type thing, probably more down towards them. They're not that as good as they could be, but he's got weapons, and we forgot about a guy.
Third easiest schedule
on purpose.
Yeah, I mean he does, but it's still the NFL, and we're going by schedules. that were dictated from last year's records, but we don't include the upgrades of these teams. So these bad teams that upgraded, we don't know what they're going to finish. So this third easiest schedule at the end of the year could be the fifth hardest. We don't know. I mean, he's in a tough division. We forgot a player he added. They've got DeAndre Swift back there. They get Gerald Everett to go with Cole Kmet, Keenan Allen, Adunze. I mean, they added some weapons around this guy, and DeAndre Swift can catch the ball. So he does have an offensive weapons where they should put up some points. I think he breaks this 4,000-yard streak that hasn't happened with the Bears. But if we go back times with the Bears, they've been a defensive team. Like it's all been about defense from the Dickett era. It's just defense with them. Man, something tells me. And you made a point earlier about when we talked about Josh Allen stuff. It is, I think, insanely important that they have a good quarterback coach. Josh Allen didn't become good and have that MVP year until Ken Dorsey from the University of Miami showed up and changed his throwing motion and made him sit in the pocket one more second. He hated it so much he just left on there. And then you have Canales as well. My only knock on this offense is the offensive coordinator. He wasn't that great at Seahawks. They were ranked in his time there. In the best year, they were ranked 13th in 2022, and then 2023 they were ranked 21st passing offense. So I don't know if I like that hire so much for him, but the Seahawks do throw the ball, so he's going to get his chances. He's going to get his attempts. And I like what they did on defense too. Like I don't think they're built to. I think they're going to fight for a playoff spot with the Packers for that last in wild card spot. I think this is a 9-8, 10-7 team, and that'll get you 10-7 will get you in. But their defense is good. They got Montez Sweat. They re-signed Jalen Johnson, who's a beast on that back end. They got Tremaine Edmonds. They signed Kevin Byrd to it for the secondary. This is a team that I think is going to be better than some think. I think that offense, I think Caleb is the real deal. I like it. And then they get for their defensive coordinator, they get the guy they get Washington from the Bills. The Bills have always been a stout defensive team. So he brings that scheme into them. I think this team's better than what it looks. I'm going to leave them at 9-8, but it wouldn't surprise me if they're not fighting at the end there for that last wild card spot. And I think the Packers are going to be that team fighting for that last spot as well.
And just for the record,
back to reality.
I do have the Bears going 9-8, 10-7 because of the schedule. I think that the Bears are. I think that Caleb Williams is going to be a decent quarterback. It's just that I don't like him, and I don't know if he's worth all the hype that he's getting.
Here's a question: Is Caleb? Would you take your starting football team? Do you take Caleb Williams or Justin Fields?
Justin Fields.
You take Justin Fields?
Yeah.
No, I would take Caleb.
Wow.
I would take Caleb.
They won 7 games.
Justin Fields had a good opportunity, and I hope that he does well with Pittsburgh. But I would take Caleb Williams over Justin Fields.
The Bears won 7 games last year. They are definitely better than they were last year.
With a garbage team.
Yeah, with 17. So they're definitely better this year. It has to equate to at least 2 more wins and possibly 3. So that's why I'm putting them up there. Their team is definitely better, especially on offense. When you add Swift, Allen, Adunze, and put a guy back there that can actually – I went to the Bucs game when they played the Bears. Justin Fields was terrible. They should have beat the Bucs that game. He missed so many wide open guys down the middle. Not missed them throwing, just missed that they were open. And I could see those players on the Bears can this guy see more than 10 yards down the field, man? Justin Fields is not good at quarterback. He looks lost out there on an NFL field.
I don't think Caleb Williams is the answer for the Bears. I don't think he throws anything above 4,000 yards or 30 touchdowns. Because historically they don't. They really don't. They were 27th in passing last season. They were second in rushing because that's all they did. In total defense, they were 12th, so their defense finally showed up and was mid. Their sacks were 25th because no one touched the quarterback. And their turnover differential was 11th because they actually had to play some defense in order to win some games. They were 7-10 last season. They're going to stay 7-10 this year. Caleb Williams is overrated. I'm going to say that even if he throws for 4,000 yards and 30-plus touchdowns, because I still think he's like the next Jameis Winston. You have all this hype around somebody who doesn't I don't think he has the mentality to play. And anyone, and I bring it on in the comments, I don't really give a shit. Because here's the reason, right? Name the last USC quarterback that had success. Yeah, Carson Palmer, right?
Yeah.
But that was a different era of quarterback, and he was considered the same concept as Caleb Williams. I don't think Caleb Williams brings anything to the Bears organization except for painted nails and some hype. That's it. I just don't.
Wow.
I don't see him going past
the
54th minute. The 54th
I just
minute.
don't.
Okay.
Look at what they got in the organization. Look at who they have as coaching. They don't have the mentorship there. Who's in their depth chart for a quarterback if Caleb Williams gets hurt?
He's not. That guy.
Exactly.
Man.
So let's put that into perspective. He cries when he loses. He cannot take the pressure games. You want to talk about college football? When he played good teams, he didn't play very well.
He had a bad team, though.
He played Notre Dame and lost, bro. Come on. Notre Dame hasn't been crap since the 80s or 90s.
It's one thing I learned: you never bet against the church. So
7-10, Bears are third in this division. Caleb can just sit on the bench. I don't care. He's overrated.
Wow.
Let his nails dry a little bit.
Oh my goodness, y'all are too much.
Theo, help me out.
Y'all is too much,
trying to be
man.
neutral, man.
There's no mentorship. There's no mentorship. There's no way. There's no highway for success other than you just dumped a bunch of probably A and B wide receivers on him, and then you gave him DeAndre Swift to hopefully hand the ball off and get some yards. Like, if the play action game isn't good, then they're gonna suck.
I can agree with you there a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, and
I'm gonna sip my tea now.
I don't think that's tea. After what we just heard.
There's no way that's tea.
I don't think
There's no way that's tea. Someone check his water. Someone check his tea.
I kind of agree with Scooter a teeny bit on the mentorship part because his quarterback coach is coming from Seattle. So he did have Geno with Kerry Joseph. So he was an assistant quarterback coach there too. So that's the part that worries me. I don't like the OC hire. I don't like what they bring over when it comes to coaching. But if that style of football fits Caleb in that playbook, man, he is off to the races, man. This guy he can spin the ball, man. He can throw it.
Yeah.
And he's athletic.
Yeah.
We forget about how much
Weiner and Darnold and Sanchez.
Dude.
Yeah, but we say that about a lot of quarterbacks.
66.6% of his percentage completed 66.6 of his passing in the college, 10,000 passing yards, 93 touchdowns, 14 interceptions in the whole career.
That's it.
I mean,
in college stats, that's nothing, man.
I just feel like I feel like last year was a down year for him for whatever reason. But to me, there's intangibles with Caleb Williams that I believe are the thing that sets him apart from what I see. As a guy that may not have seen as in depth of college games, but from what I did see, the intangible thing that a lot of quarterbacks don't you either have or you don't is the touch and the ability to feel pressure. And man, I mean, I just feel like in the NFL, when quarterbacks don't have this is something that you see immediately, and the things that you're talking about now are the things that affect them and cause them to just fall by the wayside. But
they said the same thing about Kyler Murray too. I just feel like Caleb Williams, not only does he have all of that, not only does he have the possible generational talent, but this is the best supporting cast that a rookie quarterback has ever seen, ever. I don't think we've ever give me a rookie quarterback that's come into a better situation.
He's walking into
Kurt Warner.
Kurt Warner had Larry Fitzgerald. Are you talking
Well,
about
he had
which
Terry
Kurt Warner?
Holt. He had.
Terry
Oh, you're
Holt.
talking
No, you
about
gotta
Kurt.
go way
You're
back.
talking
Isaac
about the
Smith.
Rams.
He had
Kurt
Terry
Warner.
Marshall
Holt.
Falk.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
He-
Rams Kurt Warner.
yeah, I think it's
I
Steven
mean,
Jackson.
You're a
He-
Rams
I mean,
fan.
Hey,
that was a good situation.
Here's the thing with the
That
Bears
was
too.
perfect. You won a dang Super Bowl.
Here's the thing with the Bears too. Like I don't think they make a big push. They could sneak into the playoffs. They got $71 million in cap next year to go out and keep building around this guy, building the defense. It's not going to surprise me in 2025. We're not talking about the Bears pushing for first place in the North, man. $71 million cap. They can do a little bit of damage. They got Williams under a rookie contract. They DJ's sewed up. DeAndre sewed up for 3 years. They just signed their best players on defense.
I just like I said, I'm gonna make it quick. I still have them at 8 and 9. Like I'm not saying that they're gonna take over this year. Like he's still a rookie quarterback, and we still, just like I said earlier, have to allow for a rookie quarterback to learn the NFL. But if anyone is in the position to change the Bears organization, to change the way these teams have been seeing, to change the way USC quarterbacks are seeing going into football, I think it's Caleb Williams. I just believe in the talent. I believe in what I've seen him do already, and I think this is gonna be the Bears' best quarterback that they've ever had. I mean, it's not too difficult. They have not had good luck with quarterbacks since a very long time ago, but I do believe that he has a chance to do it.
Most of us weren't alive when the Bears were relevant,
we weren't.
So.
But history does not mean future.
That's what I said. Most of us.
Yeah, we can't take their history as something to forecast their future. Like it's a new day, something different. Let's see the light.
I think the Bears, that's the thing. They're getting out of the Stone Age finally. Like they're realizing the NFL is about pushing the ball, the receive, like they're just getting out of the Stone Age finally and just kind of catching up, but time will tell. Here, I got a bet for you. If Caleb throws for over 4,000 yards, you got to paint your nails and wear a Caleb shirt.
Okay, well, I'll wear a Caleb shirt.
One nail.
Two nails.
I can't paint my nails.
One hand.
I actually can't paint my nails.
Okay, all right.
Just for the show, you can take it right off. Clear. No, we can't see the clear.
Do it like Buccaneers colors, like.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyone who actually knows me, I actually can't do that. But
Yeah.
What if you did it in camo?
it doesn't count.
Oh, okay.
It's still a no.
Okay, we'll do it. We'll do a tattoo on the butt. That's fine. We got it.
Hell no. Hell no.
Oh my gosh. Well, all right. This episode got a little spicier than I was anticipating, but I love every minute of it. If you guys enjoyed this video, go ahead and hit that like, hit that subscribe button. We definitely appreciate all the engagement that we've been getting lately. Go ahead and drop your comments down below. Who do you got winning the NFC North, man? This is a competitive division. It really is. It's going to be a fun division to watch, and I think the healthiness of each team is going to definitely dictate who's going to be at the top. I mean, unfortunately, the Lions are only one big blow away from maybe sliding down to the second or third place, depending on who goes out. So, but at the end of the day, it's a competitive division, and yeah. But next week, we're wrapping up this series. We only got 2 more divisions left, and next week, boys, we're going down south. We're gonna go south, and we are gonna cover the
worst division in football,
the NFC South. So definitely be on the lookout for that, because me and Scooter, diehard Tampa fans, so it should be
bias. I'm
fun.
just saying, hard bias.
Extremely hard bias is going to be coming next week. Just be prepared. So, but until next week, go ahead and follow us on all of our social medias. You can hit the link down there. No. Yeah, an hour for me, and then an hour for Scooter, and then
30 seconds for you guys.
we get to wrap it up.
Yeah.
Well, follow us on all of our social medias. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. We are on Instagram. Obviously, we're on YouTube. You guys are watching us. But share this video with all your football family and friends, and let us know what you guys think. But we appreciate you guys. And until next week.
Beard Zone.